What is up, everyone? We are talking Thursday night football, our picks, predictions, and best player props. This Thursday night, we're already in week 4 of the NFL. Seems like it's flying by. We have the Cowboys 1-2 visiting the Giants, also 1-2 in an NFC East battle. Let's get to the picks. So right now the Cowboys are -6. This opened up at 4. It's up to 6. The total is at 44.5, and that's what we're going to be looking at in this one. Since Dan Quinn left the Cowboys, that defense has just been awful. They've given up 33 points, 44 points, and then again 28 points last week to the Ravens. Obviously, the offense turned it up in the fourth quarter. They almost made that crazy comeback with the extra points, the touchdowns, and the 2-point conversions to get it to 28-24. But they couldn't pull it off. Defense has just been atrocious. On the other side, you look at the Giants. The Giants, they throw on 56% of their plays. That's 7th in the league, 7th most in the league. Malik Neighbors has clearly opened up this offense. I think Brian Dable has done an excellent job since week 1 with his play calling. And Daniel Jones was as good as we've ever seen him last week against Cleveland in the win. Now, on the other side, you have the Cowboys. The Cowboys are allowing 7.4 yards per dropback to their opposition. That has them in the bottom 3 in the league. I think the Giants are going to be able to move the football. Now looking at the red zone, since 2023, the Cowboys have scored 44 touchdowns in the red zone. Since 2023, the Giants have allowed 39 touchdowns in the red zone. For the Cowboys, that's 5th most in that time. For the Giants, that's 6th most in that time, which tells me basically the Cowboys get in the red zone. They're going to not settle for field goals. They're going to put the ball in the end zone. Look, NFC game, all these battles usually means low scoring, especially when the Giants are involved, especially when it's in New York. But I'm leaving this over. I really think I like this over a lot, 44.5. I think the Giants are going to move the football because this defense, especially the secondary for the Cowboys, they haven't been able to stop anyone. They're allowing yards after the catch. They're giving massive cushions. There's a lot of throwing windows. I think Daniel Jones is going to be able to exploit that. On the other side, we've seen the Cowboys. Look, they've moved the football. They did it on a Sunday in the fourth quarter against the Ravens. I think they're going to be able to score against this Giants team. I like this over, 44.5. Now let's move to our player props. A big problem for this Cowboys offense has been their inability to rush the football. They had 68 yards on 21 carries 2 weeks ago against the Saints, and last week just limited to 51 yards against the Ravens. Yes, a lot of that's because they're trailing a lot in both of those games. Both of those games, the Saints and the Ravens jumped out to a quick lead. The other reason is they're getting crushed in the trenches. Their offensive line is kind of getting manhandled. You see them having to run a lot of quick hitters because they can't protect long enough for Dak to hold the football for guys to get deep in their routes and their progression. So what I'm looking at is Zeke right now. His over-under for catches is set at 1.5. I think they're going to have to do something to supplement this running game, meaning they're going to have to get the ball out and into somebody's hand in space to kind of stop guys from getting upfield. This pass rush that is absolutely killing the Cowboys. In each of his last 2 games, he's had 2 catches. I think they're going to have to focus more on getting him the football in different ways because clearly they can't just pound the football. It's not working. And I think they're going to have to get a little bit more creative in the way they get Zeke the football on edge in space. If you watch that Ravens game, he had two routes where he basically just thinned it out and started going to the sideline, and on third downs, and Dak tried to lead him up the field. If he starts going up the field, he's catching and running for first downs. So last week he could have had 4 or 5 receptions. He ended up with just a 2, but his total is at 1.5. I like that over. Zeke over 1.5 receptions, -110 on Thursday night. And then finally, another thing they can do, in another prop to alleviate the struggles with the run game, get Dak involved. All right, so his rushing yards total is set at 7.5. Yeah, a big part of that is because he's been taking sacks. Guys have been all over him. He's been running for his life at times. But I think he's going to have to extend plays, especially on third down. He's an asset. He can move the football. He's a big guy. He can pick up, third and shorts. I think they're going to have to rely a little bit on Dak to extend some plays and also to just keep the ball in some RPO options and, suck in a guy on the edge and take it 5-6 yards and take a slide and move the change. So, I think they're going to be trying to figure out ways to alleviate not only the pass rush, but to help their offensive line that can't move anyone when they're trying to run the football. So a big reason for Dak is that they just can't run the football. I like Dak over 7.5 rushing yards on Thursday night. So just to recap, we're going Cowboys-Giants over 44.5 on a Thursday night primetime NFC East battle. Haven't played those very often, but I do like this over 44.5. We're going to take Zeke Zeke Elliott over 1.5 receptions. And our guy, Dak, we think he's going to move the chains with his legs. Dak over 7.5 rushing yards. Those are our 3 plays and player props for Thursday Night Football, Cowboys Giants. Best of luck, everyone.